Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Spider-Man No Way Home. I watched this movie sitting in the front row of the theater, and I want to quickly complain about that because that shit sucks. It stunk my ass up. Either move the front row back or make the front row tickets cheaper. No one wants to sit that close to the screen. You fucking herniate a disc in your neck looking up at it. It's awful. It's miserable. Sorry to be so brave, much like Spider-Man, I too am a hero, talking about real issues here. Fucking fix the front row. But anyway, the movie itself was great. It's like Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great moist metering. And that's exactly what I plan on doing here. This is a hard movie to talk about without getting into spoilers, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so let's dive in. The movie starts off a lot heavier than I expected it to. You're seeing a lot of the fallout from the world finding out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he's dealing with what comes with that. And I think they did a great job of really showcasing what it would be like if the world found out the identity of a fucking superhero. They really showcase just how people would respond to it and the controversy that would ensue. And I think they used that plot point really well to drive home the desperation in Peter Parker to go as far as to try and use magic, a forbidden spell, a jutsu, a genjutsu, to trick the world in forgetting about Spider-Man. And in doing so, he brings the multiverse to his universe. Now, this again is not anything spoilery, but we're going to talk about the villains because they're all in the trailers, so if you've seen the trailers, you already know who's here. They bring in some villains from the other Spider-Man universes, so you have Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Sandman from the original trilogy. You have Electro, you have the Lizard Guy. And I think they do a great job of bringing them into this movie without it feeling cheap. I was a little worried going into it that they were just going to bring in all these familiar faces just for that wow factor for people that have watched the movies for a long time, but they use it really well. And they give the main characters, the main villains, a lot of room to breathe and develop them. Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Electro in particular. Now, they're not like super fleshed out in the movie, but just being able to see them again and getting more from them, I think is great. Especially Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. I thought he was a real standout, just a fantastic job all around. Definitely a highlight there. And then you have the two villains no one really cares that much about. It's Lizard Man and Sandman. They don't really do anything. They're just kind of there for extra bodies for a fight. The Lizard Guy will be like, yeah, hey Peter, I turned myself into a lizard, how about that shit? And Sandman's like, I have a daughter. And that's about all you'll hear from them for the entire movie until they fight each other. I'm not like super disappointed by that or anything, because again, I don't think they're two villains that are really loved in the franchise. I'm glad they put the attention on the characters people actually care about, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Electro. Electro I thought they did a great job with because I thought he was very underutilized in The Amazing Spider-Man, so it was good to bring him back and get to at least see a little bit more from him because I think he's a cool character at the very least. But the main focus of the movie is on the relationship between Peter Parker and MJ and Ned. It's their friendship and their journey and Peter Parker becoming a fucking man. He comes into this movie a boy and he leaves a chiseled, grizzled man. The movie's a lot darker than I expected it to. It gets a lot heavier than I thought it would, and I appreciate that. I like that. The character really grows. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, and it's hard to talk too much about this movie without spoiling things, but I like how they use a lot of the new things they introduced with the multiverse possibilities, and also his relationship with Doctor Strange. I don't have many complaints about this movie. I feel as far as Spider-Man movies go, this is about the best you could ask for, but I do have some things I didn't like about it, but they're spoilers. So I'm going to do my best to be really vague. But towards the end of this movie, things get very convenient. Like there's this montage where just everything starts working out, despite the things that they're solving being problems that have been unsolvable for a long time with some characters, but all of a sudden they're able to start coming up with miraculous items that are doing some incredible things very quickly. Like imagine you yourself sat down right now and out of nowhere just solved the mystery of antimatter and how we can use it. That happens like multiple times towards the end of the movie with them being able to find solutions to problems that have been previously impossible for other people to solve in the universes. Fucking hard to things just get really convenient. Like a lot of convenient things all start to happen and get solved extremely quick. Within a matter of like 15 minutes it feels like. Just out of nowhere, just eureka, I know how to solve everything now, all at once. And that's like my main complaint. It just feels like they realized the movie was going long and they couldn't like properly develop how they get there and how they start solving some of the things they do. So it's just they just hit the lab and solve everything all at once. It's not a major complaint or anything like that because I personally didn't mind it that much. It just felt a little silly to me at points there. But again, I think overall the movie is about the best Spider-Man movie you could hope for. Spider-Man 1 and 2, the original with Tobey Maguire, still have a very special place in my heart, but I really feel like Spider-Man No Way Home is probably one of the best Spider-Man movies you could possibly ask for, to be honest. It just brings so much here and so much to like about it. And they do a really good job of developing Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I'm really excited to see more from Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU. So yeah, just plugging Spider-Man No Way Home into the Moist meter, I'm going to give it a 90%. I think it's very strong. I really enjoy it, but I don't think it's a 95%, which I was kind of debating on because I feel like it's probably the best Spider-Man movie you could get. I just feel like there is a couple things that hold it back, but I can't get super into them in this review since I'm keeping it spoiler free. But I really, really did enjoy it, and I think they did a great job with it. So that's about it. See ya.